Hello, everybody out there in video land. My radio guys are going here. I think I got everything going. It looks like I do have everything going. Oh boy, here we are. The weekend. What's going on here? I don't know. It doesn't look like everything's going. I don't know why. It should be, but something's still going on here. My radio guys are goofed up. What the heck's going on? Why isn't that working? That is weird. I don't know. You get me out there in the radio land? You get me out there? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. It should be working fine. Let me just check my systems. Everything looks like it's good. I don't know what's happening with my radio guys, but my video guys are fine. I don't know. What the heck is going on here? Oh, the sliders are right. Everything's plugged in. Mics are rolling. Everything's done. Did somebody change something here that I don't know about? Everything's up, powered up. Stream time is good. I don't know. Are you getting me out there in radio land? You won't be able to tell me because I can't. I don't know. I can't get any messages or anything. So I'm going to take it that we are broadcasting, but it doesn't seem like it on the radio. Anyway, let's continue on. I don't know what's going on. Why? What's been touched? What's happening here? Am I goofy? Maybe I'm just goofy today. Everything looks like it's in the right position, though, but it looks like the music's still playing to me. Anyway, let's get on with the show. I can't fool around with this board. I don't know why we're not getting thing. Let me do something. Let me just do something right here. Let me just do something again. Yeah, there's the music. There's the music. That goes up. That goes down. Maybe we're doing it. Maybe you're broadcasting. I know it says it's streaming and everything, so you should be all set to go. Anyway, my name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice coming to you live. There's Your City, Your Voice from 4680Q Radio as usual on this noon. Finally, Friday, the Friday before a long weekend. How does it get better than that? Friday before the long weekend is always good. We know that. I don't mind that at all. And at the end of the day, I can't wait. I'm taking Monday off, so no show on Monday. You're looking for me Monday? No show. What a weather. What a weather we have here. What weather we have here. I'm telling you, this is so beautiful. It's got to be 80 degrees out there right now. It's fantastic. The air conditioning's on in the studio. As long as nobody opens any windows, we're going to be okay. But did you hear that storm this morning? I was up about 4:15 or something like that. And I went back to bed. Usually get up around 5, so I said, I'm going to lay down for a minute until I decide to get up. Then all of a sudden, bang, boom, boom, bang, bang, boom. And guess what? It was crazy. It was insane. Everything was going nuts outside. It was like a tropical monsoon out there. The rain's blowing sideways. I go, holy man, look at this. And it rained pretty hard there for a little while. And of course, I got up and started doing what I usually do, right? So, I'm taking Monday off. I'm going to be back on Trash Talkin' Tuesday with lots to talk about. There's so much going on in the world right now. So we're going to kick into a couple of things here after I talk about my sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. Yeah, see, this whole thing, when it doesn't work right, throws me off. I get all thrown off here because it should be working and it isn't. It's working. I'm sure it is right now. But anyway, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. This weather is just gorgeous. You know what I got on when I jump in my car? I got the air conditioning on. And guess what? If it didn't work, I'd be swearing. And I'd say, why wasn't I smarter? I'm surrounded by stunads. Why wasn't I smarter and quit being a stunad and go get my car checked out by Ken Hunter at Wild Bill's? He's got the free spring inspection. You go in there, he's going to check your car top to bottom. Make sure it's all running right. Make sure everything's A1, number one, so you don't break down in the summer on the hottest day of the year when you're going, oh my goodness, why didn't I get it checked out? I should have listened to that idiot on the radio, Paul K. Lemire. Get in there. Get your car checked out. He's going to make sure all systems are go, including your air conditioning. Your brakes, make sure your brakes are good. Your oil's changed. Everything's great. Get those winter tires off. It's time, everybody. Don't procrastinate. Let's get it going. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. If you get into a wreck, it's got a full body shop there. Your car goes in wreck, it comes out A1 showroom condition. Wild Bill's, give them a call today. They sponsor our show, sponsor these small businesses who work around the city. And while you're at it, if you're on the internet at wildbillsauto.ca, that's where you got to go to his website. Give that subscribe button a click. Hit it hard, hammer it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comments. Do the whole thing. Subscribe. I'm hanging around 130. We need to get to 150 and then 200. Come on, subscribe. Cost you nothing. And it helps the algorithm. It helps my show get out there. I'm on Rumble and X now. So let's get this show out there. Let's get more people listening and get involved with our city and everything else. Now, I only had like one viewer comment, so we'll get to that on Trash Talkin' Tuesday. There'll probably be more by then, and we'll just skip over that for today. And I also want to do a shout out to a friend of mine who passed away, Carolyn Bratley. I mean, I grew up with Carolyn and her brother Dave. We were best friends all our life. She passed away, and today was her birthday. You know, you kind of lose track of even your great neighbors over the years. Dave died, a long time ago. He died at about age 52 or something, right? And very young to die of pancreatic cancer. And his sister just died of cancer in the last little while. And I always called both of them on their birthday, May 16th and July 12th, to say hello and just keep in touch. That was one of the traditions. And I did give her husband a call today, just to say we're thinking about him. Anyway, yeah, her birthday. Happy heavenly birthday there, Carolyn. You're a good friend for all our life since we were little kids. And their whole family's gone now, and we're still here, so we remember them and all those who passed before them. A lot of good friends are falling by the wayside. Well, they're here. The final tax bills for the year, due on June 30th and September 30th. And with my calculations, a nice 6.1% increase for me over last year. So, if your sugar shack is assessed at $280,000, you're paying a whopping $4,671.49 a year. I mean, I want to find one of these $280,000 homes. Where are they? I want one. I want a $280,000 home in good shape. I'll take two if they're out there, please. I know guys will take 10. So what do? Well, we get our tax bill, and here's what I call this: the wheel of misfortune. This shows you where they're blowing your money. The wheel of misfortune. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, because I live in a hovel, my house is valued less than $280,000. So my total tax bill for the year is $3,687.14. Reading that right off my tax statement, up $211.84 from last year's tax bill of $3,475.30, a 6.1% increase. They told us 4.9. Where is it? Oh yeah, we forgot. Region and everything else. See, having rentals around where the owners don't take care of their property and having people living in tents, that's my neighborhood. It's probably why my values are a little bit lower. Probably. They have tents in their backyards using extension cords for electricity, with a beer fridge sitting outside the tent all winter. See, if that pays off at tax time when you have a neighborhood going through hell because of out of town people who rent the properties that don't keep them up. Yeah, they make your property worth less. You don't pay as much tax. How about that? You have to look at the crap every day, but hey, what the heck? Save me a little bit of money. But I don't even see there's just really no, I mean, you look at your bill here, this crazy bill that you're getting with this pie chart here, right? And this wheel of misfortune that I call it, there's a wheel of misfortune here, right? Yeah, that's the wheel of misfortune. It tells you where all your taxes are broken down, how much you owe to the city for each service, and how much you owe to the region for each service. It tells you where all your money is going. And of course, the region is the biggest tax sucker of them all. Well, hold it. We're the biggest tax suckers because we pay all this crap for them, taking a whopping 44% of every tax dollar you spend. So you spend $1, 44%. of what you spend on your taxes goes to the region right off the bat. City comes up with a close 37%. Then you have to add on the 1% city capital levy charge. Yeah, that's the 1% on top of whatever they raise it. Followed by education at 9%. Like, I've never had a kid in school. Why am I paying this? Why do seniors pay it at all? Their kids have been to school. They paid for them. They're gone. Why are they paying for it? The way it works, I guess. Crazy. Maybe that's something for seniors, not to have to pay the school tax. How about that? How about laying the school tax on everybody who's got kids in school? Transit services, another sore point for anyone that is awake in the region, comes in at 6% when it should be half of that. The deal we made in Niagara Falls was, hey, it's costing us $7.5 million. Here's our buses. Here's everything. You take everything, and you keep our $7.5 million like it was. Oh yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, we'll do that. Meanwhile, it doubled to 15 or 16, maybe 17 million now. It's a constant sore spot for Councillor Lococo because she asks about it all the time. And of course, she gets the the gaslighting and baloney. We saw it when Matt Cisco, who's the chairman or whatever the heck he is, mayor of St. Catharines, but he's chairman of the Transit Commission or something. He comes up and gives us, this baloney, knew this, knew that, gotta have this. The buses they gave us were crap and blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's why they got to double it on us. Double what we were paying when we had it ourselves. Crazy. That's 6%. I think it should be half of that. The deal we made was for the change to be revenue neutral. It wasn't. Last but not least, we have waste management coming in at 4%. That's to pick up your garbage. Now, you think this is wonderful. Nobody does that. But remember, you still have water wastewater charges that are on top of this. Oh, yeah, they built the sleight of hand. Let's take the water and wastewater charges off the tax bill so people don't notice that they're paying even more taxes. Because regardless of what anybody tells you, the water wastewater amount you pay, well, $250 a month or a couple $100 every 2 months, right? That's basically tax. You're being taxed for them to bring water to your house and take care of your sewage. But they took it off the tax bill because it makes the tax bill look cheaper. But don't be fooled. It's a tax. And in my case, it adds on about another $2,000 to my tax bill every year. So that throws me up around $5,700 if you wanted to include that. I think they used to include it on your taxes, but now they kind of get off, pull the fast one on you. Oh, look at my taxes. They're only $3,600. No, they're $5,700. No matter what you think, if they're $7,500, your water bill's probably higher. They're probably like 10,000, 11,000, like that. That's the way it works. So they pulled that sleight of hand. And you know what? That isn't even enough. The city has lots of money. Our city, there's no need to raise taxes. But the region, my friends, is broke. And they need a ton of money to refurbish our water treatment plants. I talked about that a couple shows ago, what's going on. And of course, to build the much needed Niagara South water treatment plant to service all points south of Lundy's Lane, south and west of Lundy's Lane. You're going to see these increases for years to come. I mean, there's no getting out of it. They have no money and they got to build this stuff. Where are they going to get it from? The province is broke. The province is $400 billion, $450 billion in debt. And we saw the budget yesterday. Talk about that in a minute, too. So this is just I look at it and it just makes me laugh. And then I cough up a check for, I don't know, 900 and some odd dollars for the next quarter. And the same for the last quarter to get me to 3,700. But being a Doe's agent, I looked on the back of the chart right here. See, they got this chart here. You got to look at that because that tells you the different programs that your tax money went to. Right? And it goes through all the different programs. And when you start looking at it, the Doge team looks at it, efficiencies. You take the big daddies of the list and start looking at them first. For the city, they are number one, fire department, number two, administrative services, number three, roads and bridges. Yeah, just look in here. It'll tell you. Now, for the region, their police services, woohoo, big percentage. Triple everything else almost. Community services, regional roads, and then transit. Now, you want to find efficiencies. That's where you start. You look at the departments that are costing you the most, you find efficiencies and get rid of waste. So Elon Musk did. Doge. Now, the region, of course, is the biggest waste of time and money that was ever foisted on the taxpaying citizens of the 12 municipalities that are involved in the region. And we got royally screwed in, I think, 1971, they brought in the region. And we've been getting screwed ever since. And if you want to get down to it, amalgamation can't come soon enough. I don't know if we're going to see it in a long time. They're talking about it before COVID, but now they got a great excuse not to do it because we have way too many politicians, way too many duplications of service. And if you notice on this big piece of propaganda is that when you look at the region and the city, both sides of it, they call the same thing different names so that you don't think they're the same, because the big question always been with region, duplication of services. So when you look at it, you see the same name for two things. You go, oh, look, that's duplication of services. So they name them different, so you don't know. People look at it and go, well, it can't be that because that's not that. And that looks different to me, but that's the way they work it. So let's take an example. For the city version of the bill, there's an item called city council, committees, boards and grants, which represents about 6.3% of the budget. Go to the regional side of the sheet, and you see the very same thing, but it's called corporate administration and governance. Very same thing. Very same thing. Different name so that you don't say, hey, we got one of those over here and we got one of those over there. Why are we paying twice for economic development CAOs and CEOs and everything else? Very same thing, different name, coming in at 7.2%. Same thing, different name, huge duplication of services that include two of everything, including politicians. Waste of money. And that is why they need Doge and amalgamation. To get rid of waste and duplication, that's how you get rid of it. You have one economic development team that does it for the region. And that's the way the region was supposed to work. The idea was that if we use the purchasing power of 12 municipalities for services, we're going to get them cheaper because we have more volume. It's like, you go and you buy one of something, you get a price. If you say, I want to buy a case of something, you get a little bit of a different price. They drop it a little bit lower because you're buying in volume. Same with the region. We want to have garbage pickup in Niagara Falls. Okay, Niagara Falls, you pay this much. Now we want to have it for 12 municipalities. We put it on a tender. It's supposed to come in cheaper. That was the whole idea. Never worked. Never worked. Never, ever worked. We see that with transit. So basically, same thing, different names. A rose is a rose is a rose. Can't get away from that. And if you don't think this was planned and well thought out, then you're wrong. This didn't just come to us by happenstance. Oh, we'll just make up these things. What do you call this? No. What do you call that? Okay, we're going to call it something different. And then you got your wheel of misfortune right there. You got to look at it. Look at this thing close. Tells you a lot. Your taxes tell you how much. This tells you why and where it's going. But at the end of the day, you have to pay. You have to pay. What are you going to do? The people say that these taxes are illegal and blah, 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 blah. But the bottom line is, even the people who say they don't have to pay because it's against the law and blah, 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 how come we have to We have to buy land. Well, who's said we have to buy land? It's land that we should just have for free. Why do we have to buy land? It's here. It's the Earth's land. Nobody owns it. We own it. Well, the indigenous people really own it. But at the end of the day, these people who come up with these ideas, we don't have to pay tax. Now, you know what they do at the end of the day? They walk down to City Hall and they cough up the cash to pay taxes. They cough up the money. They pay too, because if they don't, they're going to get their property taken from them. So, yeah, we have no choice. So, cough up and vote better next time. Everybody said we got to decrease taxes. We want to keep taxes at a minimum, at zero. Taxes are a big concern. You know what they did? I got the notes when I talked to them from the election. Our main concern is taxes and the homeless. Since they've been on city council 2.5 years now, you know what's happened? Taxes have gone up. I don't know, 12%. No, let's see, 3 tax increases for 23%, 7, 6, or something like that. Right? They've gone up, and then they've gone up, and then at the end of the day, they're supposed to save them, and homelessness is getting worse. It's not getting better. What can I tell you? I can't tell you anything. Look, somebody's knocking at the window here. I can't answer it. I'm on the air. What's the matter with you? Oh, now they're going to take off. I can't. I'm on the air. Look at. You can't understand it. No, I'm on the air. I can't. Oh man, these people. I'm telling you, these people drive me crazy. But at the end of the day, you got to pay. And for me, it means that my taxes represent like 185 pizzas. And from Pizza, I'm just going to have to cut back on my pizza budget if I can't afford to pay it. That's all. That's the way it is. So at election time, remember this: the only one person on council fought for a consistently. Sorry, only one person on council consistently fought to reduce taxes, and that's Councilor Lococo. She had a spreadsheet showing where efficiencies could be found. She had it all filled out. Council only 8 wanted to cut taxes $50,000 off the $200 million we spent. Why bother? The rest okayed the mayor's budget. Councilor Patel said, give it to staff and see what they say. Yeah, that's ridiculous. They made up the budget. What are they going to say? They can't say anything. The rest okayed the mayor's budget, and here we are. Happy Victoria Day with your tax bill, everybody. Beautiful. Now, let's get over to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. If you want a good pizza, you got to go to Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And why? Why do I like Pete's Pizza? Because at the end of the day, Pete's Pizza delivers consistency. They are consistent with their pizza. Why? Because they use the Mancini family recipe for sauce. They use the Mancini family recipe for crust. They know what they're doing. Saputo mozzarella blended with brick on the pizza in the right ratio with the sauce. Fresh toppings. You can't beat it. They're consistently good. And not only with that, they do phenomenal chicken wings. They have phenomenal chicken wings. They have phenomenal steak and cheese poutine. They have everything that you could want on a pizza. They're very, very, very good. And you know what? They have great wings. Their wings are great. They're outstanding wings. And they have great, oh gosh, panzerotti, you name it. It's on the menu. You got to look at the menu. Go online. Pete'sPizzaVictoria.ca. You'll see it all. You can order from the menu, or you can call 905-374-2222. And you'll be able to get them and order a nice fresh pizza. You can't go wrong with Pete's Pizza. Give them a call today. They support the city, and we're asking all our people to support them because they're great sponsors. Okay, let's move on with the show here. Somebody's still out there banging on the door. These people are whacked. Surrounded by Stunads. I'll tell you that right now. I just heard about the Airbus helicopter parts plant setting up shop in Niagara Falls, and they told me where it is. I have no idea where this is. I don't know. I don't know where it is. I know they have the plant in Fort Erie, the Airbus plant, making excellent choppers. But when did this parts plant come about? And where is it? We never heard anything about it. I mean, I listen to city council meetings. I talk about them. I never heard about this plant, but it's great we got it. Now, according to a story by Ray Spiteri in the review, the 2,000 square meter plant is at 7,000 Kinsman Court. 7,000 Kinsman Court. And if you don't know where that is, I looked it up. And at 7,000 Kinsman Court is down by Montrose Road. It's off of Montrose Road for the where Can-Enge is and for the needy, not the greedy. And that whole thing is down there. So pretty cool. Hyde Products too is there. It's a little street that runs off Montrose Road before McLeod Road, where Hyde's distribution is. So they're putting it right in there, and the kart track is in there as well. So this is great news for Niagara Falls. The distribution center will employ 12 to 15 people, and Airbus is a going concern. We know that. I think the city has actually, or the province. I think the province has bought 3 of them for the province for the OPP. So they're going concern, and they sell a couple hundred helicopters a year. They're a big deal, and to have their distribution plant in Niagara Falls is fantastic. Right on the highway, 15 minutes from their plant where they make them in Fort Erie. And geez, I have to think that where they are now, if you go up to Sodom Road where we bought that $6.5 million piece of property, I wonder at some point if they expand, they're going to move up there. That hasn't been developed yet, our industrial park, but it's coming. Now, when they chose to come to Niagara Falls and not keep the parts distribution plant right next to their Fort Erie operation, I'm going, that's pretty weird if you think about it. I mean, at the end of the day, you would believe that their parts distribution plant would be right next to their actual factory, wouldn't you? But hey, what the hey? Fort Erie's loss is Niagara Falls' gain, and we're glad to have them here distributing parts all over North America from Niagara Falls. It's awesome. They're going to hire 12 to 15 people, and it's going to be a big deal. Now, Doug Ford has ordered 3 of these helicopters for the OPP, so they have at least 3 more sales there, and that's worth $134 million paid for us, the little old taxpayers. Of course, we pay for those choppers, so it's nice to see we will be getting some of the money back in city coffers from Airbus. Congratulations. Airbus is paying. They're there, and they're going to be selling choppers, and we're going to be shipping parts over to Niagara Falls. A good story for once from Niagara Falls. Now, I was reading another story, and this really surprised me a little bit. Now, I heard about this before, but I really never heard a lot about it, just a bit. And then there was a story in the review by John Law. And who it was about was a friend of mine back in the day, guy I used to hang around with. Along with the other 2 guys in the article, Rob Morningstar was the guy's name. We just called him Iggy. He was Iggy to us. And the story is about Chris Maxfield and Lloyd Peterson, who had a band with Iggy called the Go Jetters. And I know Chris real well. I know his brother Mark Maxfield real well. They both played drums, and we hung out and played music together. They wrote some songs with Iggy back in their West Lane days and played together as teenagers. Now, Iggy, a good friend, ended up in the United States. He's kind of a punk rock guy, and he ended up committing suicide, unfortunately. I was at his funeral. It was a long time ago. But the other 2 guys moved to Winnipeg, and they got together to re-record the songs they wrote back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. And now they're out on an album that they remastered from old tapes they had with Iggy doing the vocals. So they brought it back to life. So they're playing the songs as they wrote them back in the day. They're all original songs, not covers. And they inserted Iggy's voice into the recording. I listened to them. They're fantastic. They bring back a lot of memories. And I hung around with Iggy a lot. And we used to practice a lot together, right? We had a bunch of guys come down to practice, and Iggy wrote songs and everything else. And I have a book with all the songs he wrote. And a couple of them are on the ones that these guys remastered. So I've contacted him and said, hey, listen, I got a book with all this stuff. Now, Iggy played guitar, but he also had he was a guy called, he billed himself as a guy called Dallas Cooper. And we used to go around with him and do gigs. And we did a gig at West Lane. And Iggy was a wild character. He was a crazy guy. And he actually had a harness for when, Alice Cooper hangs himself. And the harness broke and Iggy was really hanging. So we had to go get him and lift him up and get him out of the noose. And then another time we did a coffee shop at Loretto. And of course, Alice Cooper had a song called Dead Babies. So Iggy had an axe and he hit this doll. It was a doll, right? And he had it loaded up with ketchup or something. Oh, man. So when he did this, they threw us right out of Loretto. We were gone. This is like legendary stuff. We were gone. We were out of there. They told us to leave immediately, and then they had a big write-up in the review. And I have the write-up actually from that review. I got to look at the date on. I got to get it out again. And so I was telling Chris Maxfield about this, right? I mean, there's a million stories with Iggy. He was a real character. We dressed as Kiss and played at different bars. We played before Gatto one time. We got up, used Gatto's equipment to play at Uncle Sam's up in the lane. And we did a lot of crap with Iggy. We had a lot of good time. Chris Maxfield, Mark Maxfield, me, Dave Bratley, John Fillion, my co-host on Habsolutely, and of course, Iggy. We had a great time. We had a great time with these guys, and to listen to those songs, it brings back memories. And then to see this whole story in the paper, because they've done kind of a little documentary about Iggy and these songs, but the story is way, way bigger than that. With Iggy, I mean, you can sit there and I could sit there and talk about him for hours. And if John was here, we could really go to town. But we had a great time. It was crazy time in the 80s. And I'm glad to see Iggy revived in the newspaper and these guys doing this. That was a surprise to me. And it brings back a lot of really good memories. So I have to get some of the songs in my songbook Iggy wrote, and get them over to Chris, because I don't know, there's a lot more songs to be written. They got one album. They did one album on Spotify, the Go Jetters, that you can see where they remastered all these tapes they had. But there's a lot more songs there that they could probably work with. And I'm going to leave you with one of Iggy's songs, one of the lines. When they carry you out, don't forget to smile. And when they leave you in the parlor, don't forget to smile. And when they plant you in the ground, don't forget to pray. Just think about what's happening, because you meet the man today. And those lyrics are from One Last Song by Rob Iggy. Morningstar is no longer with us. Well, physically anyway, but he sure is with us in spirit. He was something else, and a good musician all the time while he was at it. R.I.P. Iggy. We had a lot of fun together. Those days are gone, but they're never forgotten. And thank you to Chris Maxfield and Lloyd Peterson for bringing this back. This makes up a good 10 to 15 years of my life with hanging around with these guys, and way back in the 80s, and we had a great time. Okay, so Ontario dropped their budget yesterday. And this Doug Ford guy, he's a blue liberal. I don't care what anybody says. This guy's a liberal. He's not a conservative. Forget about that. He's not a conservative. Take that right out of your vocabulary when you talk about Doug Ford. His budget is spend, spend, spend. As Ontario dives deeper into debt, with the blue liberal leading the way, record-breaking $232.5 billion with a B dollar budget. And I think we're already sitting in Ontario with a debt of $450 billion or something like that. Huge, huge debt. Ontario is digging itself deeper into a black hole that they're not going to escape from. It's not good. And of course, there's always an excuse. COVID. Oh, we had to give all this money away to people for COVID. No, you didn't. You didn't have to close down anything, to be honest with you. But you did, and you gave away all that money, and you never got it back from people who were stealing it from you because it was fraudulent. They didn't even go back after people. $20 billion they let slide or something like that. I don't know. But that's it. Now the excuse is the tariffs. The tariffs, the tariffs. Oh, please, come on. The tariffs. So they're gonna give $5 billion to protecting Ontario. Another COVID style waste of money allegedly to withstand the tariffs in a true elbows up move. Yeah, yeah, they're gonna just give people money. Here, tariffs are hurting your business. Here's a couple million bucks. They don't waste enough. They don't waste enough. Now they're gonna waste it on this baloney tariff stuff. It's all BS. It's all BS. We just got to go make a deal with Trump, and we don't have the leaders to do that. We're the only country, maybe in the world, that hasn't made a deal with Trump. Everybody's happy except Canada. Elbows up. Oh, we gotta let the big bad Americans get us. Yeah, that's the way it is. $5 billion protecting Ontario account. 2 new H375 choppers, $57 million. In addition to the $135 million last year for 5 choppers. 5 isn't enough. They need 3 more. 8. You need 8 choppers. Why not a dozen? Come on, it's only money. Spend it. $1 billion plus a new $20 million fund for programs in the trades, with an additional $40 million trade impacted communities program for struggling municipalities. And you know what? This is an expenditure I don't mind. Because to be honest with you, we do need tradespeople. There's a severe lack of tradespeople. When Doug Ford talks about 1.5 million new homes by 2031, even if he could do it, he probably couldn't find the tradespeople to be able to make it work. There's just not enough. You need the guys that are carpenters and plumbers and HVAC and everything else. You need those guys to finish these projects up. You need the grunt workers, the people who lift the boards and hand the masons the bricks and that kind of thing. You need those people plus the tradespeople. We don't have them. So to build 1.5 million homes, it's impossible without the people that can do the work. So I don't mind this. I don't mind anything with trades. If you want to learn a trade, you can make big money today. It's not like the old days where doctors and lawyers and these guys, they were the only ones to make big money. Today, the tradespeople are making huge money. It's great. And there's people who can't be doctors and lawyers. Not everybody can be doctors and lawyers and engineers. We need tradespeople. So anybody who's out there who's looking for a good job, get into a trade. Not only are you needed, you will never be out of work for your life. And number 2, you're going to get paid well. You're going to get paid really well. Other than, of course, government jobs that are on the sunshine list all the time. You can get one of those. You're good for you, but they're all DEI jobs. So, you might forget about it if you're not a part of the DEI crowd. Okay. Last Friday in June, they declared Elbows Up Day. Buy Ontario, buy Canadian Day. Oh my God, these people. Elbows up. That's the dopiest thing I ever heard of, elbows up. The stupidest thing ever. $175 million, Ontario Grape Support Program to help fruit farmers and wineries. Haven't they helped them enough by pulling all the American stuff off the shelves? Wineries are seeing their profits go up a lot. If anything, they need to hire more people. I guess maybe this trade impacted communities program. But guess what? Guess what? The wineries are doing well. They're doing well. They're making all kinds of money since you stopped the American stuff from coming in. So yeah, we guess we need 175 million to them. And now, weed. Oh, do they ever stop spending our money on nonsense? Weed grown and processed in the province has to have an Ontario grown sticker on it. Oh my God. Millions of homeless. Crime out of control. They're worried about a sticker on weed to say it was grown in Ontario. You wonder why I got a headache all the time. You wonder why I got a headache. 92 million for a total of 180 million to increase EV infrastructure, including charging stations. Doug Ford. Doug Ford, have you heard about the Honda plant not doing $15 billion worth of building? Because EVs are going for a crap. What's the matter with this guy? What's the matter with these people? They stupid or what? Honda says 15 billion, forget about it. We're not spending it. We're not selling the cars. They gave, I don't know how many billion to Stellantis and Ford and all that for these, and Volkswagen for these battery plants and that, the government. Honda just said, we're not, forget about it. Now they're going to give them 92 million to increase EV infrastructure. I wonder if they gave 92 million for the gas companies and oil companies to put gas stations up back in the day when cars started. Shouldn't the companies that are selling these be the guys to put up charging stations in that? Or at least get private enterprise to have a fleet of charging stations like they did with gasoline stations? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But yep, that's your tax dollars at work. 92 million. 55.8 million over 2 years to train 2,600 new educators. We need more teachers. 55.8 million. I wonder why we need more teachers in the first place. The population was going down. Like we're not having that many kids. And all of a sudden they need 2,600 more teachers for some reason. I wonder why. If you know, put it in the comments. I just can't think of why. It eludes me right now. There's more, but that's enough. I know things are not going to get any better as soon as I'm in Ontario. Canada sinks deeper in debt with the Liberals running the show. Amen. Amen. I'm done. I'm done with that. You can read about it. Go read about it. I just get sick when I look at it. It drives me crazy. So, Canadians really tire me out. Not Canadian tire, Canadians tiring me out. And especially with this elbows up attitude. I'm going to tell you a story in a minute. But first I want to get to my third sponsor. And that's Hamel Machine Company. And when we talk about industry, we know that industry needs certain services to keep them running efficiently and to keep them running without downtime. Because downtime to a business, to an industry, is losing money. They lose money every time a machine breaks down, and they have to wait for a part, maybe 6 weeks if it's coming from Europe, Germany or something. So they need small machine shops to be able to deal with these kind of problems right here in the city. That's where Hamel Machine Shop comes into play. They've been here since 1948 serving industry. And these machine shops, Hamel especially, they're not just a machine shop, to turn something on a lathe or make an axle, something like that, fabricate. They look at the part and they also make it better, make it more efficient, make it do things to speed up production. They're innovators, they're inventors. They have engineers and designers and stuff that look at this kind of thing. So when an industry comes to them and says, we have this, but we'd like to make it better, they can do that. They've done it for a lot of industries. Rich products, the wine industry, agricultural products. They've made it more efficient, and they've made the machines better, and they ship their parts all over the world. That's how good they are. And they can reverse engineer parts. If something breaks and they can't fix it, they just do a new one, make a new one. They can do that. They have 3D printers. They have water jet cutters. They have everything any industry needs. But they're not just for industry. They also help a guy like me. I want new gates for my backyard. They'll design them. They'll build them, powder coat them. They'll get them all ready for you, and away you go. So they're great for the region, the city, to help them keep their machines operating. Vito blows out the side of a deck by hitting a rock. Guess what? They bring the lawnmower in there, put a new piece in, get it nice and smooth, and away you go. They fix that. Hamel Machine Company, been in town since 1948, working with all kinds of industries around here, from the Maid of the Mist to the wineries around town. You can't go wrong. HamelMachine.ca. Go to HamelMachine.ca and see the work they do. It'll blow your mind, I guarantee. If you go down there to see them, tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. And please support our sponsors because they support the show. So, Canadians tire me out. The world, except Canada, is witnessing the greatest changes in history in modern times. We're seeing it live. We don't get to see this stuff. The world under President Trump is being taken from the globalists, Trudeau, Carney, Polyev, Macron, all of them, and given back to the people. Yet Canadians are too obsessed with elbows up to understand that, and they tire me out. I had a great conversation with my cousin, Ronnie Gabrielli. Great guy. He's dual citizenship, American and Canadian, loves Trump. And I love talking to Ron about the U.S. and Canada situation because he has both citizenships. And he's a big supporter of Trump. But at this point, he has said that he's disappointed in how Trump is treating Canada. And this comes from the mainstream media. And I can understand that Canadians who are being bombarded with the media from Canada believe this to be true. Just in the review yesterday, I saw a headline that read, "Elbows up but open arms. Will Ontario tourism benefit or suffer under Trump's disruptive policies?" Wait a minute. Trump's disruptive policies. Nonsense. The disruptive policies of the Liberals over the last 10 years are the culprits. The way they've treated Canadians over the last 10 years, locking them out of businesses, taking their businesses away, higher taxes, out of control inflation, gas prices jumping to record levels. This is the Liberals that are doing this and jumping our national debt to 1.5 trillion. That wasn't Trump. Trump's been in office for 110 days. It's not his fault. Canadians, get over this. It's not his fault. It's your government's fault for the last 10 years. That's who you put the blame on. And for you to elect the same government again, you get what you deserve. 110 days, 115 days or so. He ruined Canada. Come on. Let's use common sense here. You get tired about talking to people like this. Now, Ron points out the way that the U.S. is treating Canada because of Trump. And that's after all Canada has done for the U.S. Like taking people in during 9/11 and sending people down south to battle forest fires. But look at all the stuff Canada's done for the U.S. Like keeping it a sovereign state by protecting its borders for the last 100 years. Yeah, foreign invaders won't come to Canada because they know what will happen if they do. That was when the leaders got along. And the U.S. dragged their poorer Canadian cousins along for the economic ride with their companies. Most companies in Niagara Falls, Canada were American companies. They weren't Canadian companies. They opened in Canada, employing hundreds of thousands of people and putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into city coffers wherever they were. All over Canada, they've done this. I mean, it works both ways. We can't just say that we've done so much for the Americans, but they've done absolutely nothing for us. I mean, the Americans have been there for Canada in times of crisis. The same thing. I mean, when there's fires in Niagara Falls, Canada, in the old days, they used to come over the bridge from Niagara Falls, New York to help out. The Clifton fire there, the Clifton hotel fire there, they're all Americans there helping out. It's always been like that. We always help each other out. We can't just pick and choose these things that they did and say, They're not grateful. I mean, Americans have been there for Canada in times of crisis, but they've also been there for the whole world. Who are the first people that these countries call on to go and take and help out, to give earthquake relief, to give tsunami relief, to give any kind of relief? Who rebuilt Europe? Who rebuilt Japan after the war? You know, yeah, who gave North Korea and Japan and China all these statuses because they're developing nations to let all their products come in and take over the American markets. It was the Americans who did that. Japan and Korea and China. Japan and Korea especially. Look at the cars. They let them all in. I mean, they were not even in North America. And then all of a sudden they come here and take over Toyota, Honda. What's the other one? Well, not Nissan so much, but Toyota, Honda for sure became the biggest selling cars. Basically destroying the American car industry. They were the big guys before. So yeah, I mean, the United States helps everybody. And disrespecting Canada, well, I don't agree with that. With all due respect to my cousin Ron, he's a great guy and he knows what he's talking about. Not only does Trump love Canada, he loves it so much he wants to marry it. Yeah, he's asked our country, his best friend, to actually marry him. That's right, join together in marriage. He never proposed to any other country. Not interested. They're not beautiful enough for him. Only Canada is. When you asked your girlfriend to become your wife, were you disrespecting her? I don't think so. Trump gave Canada the ultimate respect. He never gave it to anybody else, not one other country in the world. All of who would love to partner up with Trump and who have oil and who have raw minerals, the rare minerals or whatever they call them. They offered Canada the opportunity to become part of the greatest movement of any country in modern times. And you know how Canada responded to this proposal of marriage? Well, elbows up. Canadians were insulted by the marriage proposal. Imagine if your then girlfriend treated you like that when you asked her for her hand in marriage. Imagine that. Why would you ask me to marry you? Why are you disrespecting me? But it gets worse than that. How could it be worse than that? Disrespecting your future wife. Trump is willing to live common law. Yeah, you don't have to marry me. You don't have to change your name to America to be part of this. Keep your name. Keep your last name. We'll live common law. We'll get together. We'll do everything together. We'll join up and make everything good. How about we live together happily ever after without changing your name or driver's license or any other information? You'll still be you, but living together would be much better than living apart. Because I love you. We can get married later if we have to. But for now, let's just live common law. Let's get along. Now, to me, that's respect. So think of that because Trump said we want you to be the 51st state is disrespect. You got it wrong. It's the ultimate compliment to Canada. We love you. We love what you're doing. We love everything about you. Come and join us in this beautiful union. Well, we don't want to change our name because, fine. We'll live common law. We'll share everything. You don't have to take our name. You're still Canada. We'll share everything. We'll open our borders. All your companies will have unfettered access. No taxes, no fees, no nothing to 350 million people. And you don't have to change your name. Now, liberals are the mean old father that tells his 30-year-old daughter that he forbids her to live with a man without being married. An idea that went by the wayside probably back in after the Roaring 20s, maybe. But here we are, a century later, still denying that common law is okay. Things will work out and marriage can eventually happen if both parties want to take it to that level. But you live common law today. Our leaders are too dumb to understand that. Think about this, everyone. Almost every single country in the world, China, Italy, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UK, Iran, Syria, Japan, Korea, almost every single country in the world, let that sink in, has made a trade deal with the United States and with Trump. They've all sat down and hammered out a trade deal. Even Iran wants to lift the sanctions, and they're going to do this and this and this and this to satisfy this nuclear thing they got going that Trump doesn't want. Even they're willing to sit down and do it. We're the only ones. Closest friend they have, 1 mile down the street from me, right here. I can walk to the border and throw a stone across and hit someone standing on the other side. And our stupid leaders, who have ruined Canada in 10 years, basically put the country in receivership, cannot or will not make a deal. And blowhards like Doug Ford, weaklings like Trudeau and Carney, they're screwing us. They're screwing us. Not President Trump. He's not doing it. 115 days or something. He's not doing it. The only ones in Canada that seem to have any common sense are Danielle Smith in Alberta. She gets it, and Scott Moe in Saskatchewan. Canada has the problem, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be led astray by media. They're the liars. They're the liars. What you have to do is look around, see what's happening. Remember 3 weeks ago when the Dow made headlines diving into 30,000s, high 30,000s, everyone was screaming, the sky's falling, these tariffs, Trump's ruining everything. I sat here calm and I said, don't worry, it's going back up. All Trump's programs have to settle in, and once they do, it's going to get better than ever. Now it was at 42,000, the Dow Jones Industrial. Last time I looked, it's headed to 50,000. No doubt about it. Fortunately, regardless of Canada not being able to make a deal or not, it doesn't matter because we're going to be dragged along anyway. And that's good for everybody. Anybody who's got RSPs and funds, in the States, 401ks, as long as they didn't sell, they didn't panic and listen to the media that the sky is falling, they're back and they're going to do okay. I told people this that were worried about their 401ks. Don't worry about it. It's coming back. This is the way Trump operates. The guy knows what he's doing. Don't listen to mainstream media because they're not giving you the truth. This guy's doing a good job, better than maybe anybody. He's changing the world. The globalists are out. The jig is up. So what we have to do in Canada is put elbows down, and get a deal done with the U.S. It's the least our leaders can do as Trump makes history daily and is changing the world. He wants peace around the world. He wants everyone to be prosperous. He wants to make his agenda work for everybody. You don't want to see Iran go down. He don't want to see China go down. He wants to see everybody doing good. Even the U.S., which has been abused for years, subsidizing other countries while neglecting their own people. That's what he's about. Make America great again. And while he does that, everybody else is going to be made great. He went to Saudi Arabia. You saw the reception. He got the reception of royalty wherever he went. That's because they respect him. They respect what he's doing. They respect the United States. We got to take care of our own. Does that sound familiar, Canada? We got to take care of Canadians. Millions of homeless. While our leaders give billions away to foreign countries. Billions to foreign countries. And we don't even have food for our people. They're living on the streets. Do you think that's right? Trump's stopping that. The refugees up in luxury hotels. It's over. It's over. Maybe we should be following Trump instead of butting heads with him and disparaging him and giving him the Canadian elbows up treatment. Enough said. I mean, it's there for the taking. It's there for us to take advantage of. I mean, if Canada's going to keep running around with a chip on their shoulder, elbows up, They're going to fall by the wayside. They can either fall by the wayside or get in on the action. I think we should get in on the action. Call me crazy. The people who elected Carney to battle Trump, not to work with him. That's who they elected him for. We want you to battle Trump. The reason we want you is because you're going to stand up to Trump. No, that was wrong. That was the wrong choice. We want somebody who can work with Trump. The Canadian way isn't elbows up. We want to work with them. We want that common law relationship. We retain our sovereignty. That would be best for everybody. I'm sticking by it. Leave comments if you don't agree with me. Tell me what you think. Am I right or am I wrong? Let me know. We'll talk about it. Ronnie Gabrielli, thank you so much for that conversation. It's always a pleasure to speak with you because you present your side. I give you my side. And at the end of the day, we'll say, well, let the results be the judge. We'll see. And we go on. That's it. And when there's something else coming up, we'll talk about it again. And I love it. I love it. It's a good way to go. That's what we should be doing. We should be having these conversations. Sometimes they're not easy. Sometimes we don't agree. But at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. A better Canada for everybody. Lower prices, lower taxes, less homeless, more houses built. That's what we want. We all want the same thing. It's just a matter of how you or I think we're going to get there. That's where we differ. But at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. Thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate it. I love you, brother. That's it. See you Tuesday. I'm out of here. Long weekend. I won't be here on Monday. Back at noon on Tuesday with Trash Talking Tuesday. God bless you all. Have a safe and long weekend. Don't drink and drive. Come on. I don't want to hear of any weird deaths on the weekend. Be smart. Be smart out there. And don't forget to support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamill Machine Company. My name is Paul Killamere. This is Your City, Your Voice coming to you live from the studios of 4680Q Radio in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Happy Victoria Day, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Tuesday. I'm out of here.